This is the Jerry Hicks Show, your home for common sense content 5 nights a week, right here on the Censored Freedom Network. Now here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
Thank you so much, Dave. It is Thursday, February 13th, 2025, and this is the Jerry Hicks Show. I appreciate all of you guys being here, no matter what platform you are on, whether you're on X, Rumble, BitChute, or YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a part of the Censored Freedom Network. Like Dave just said, you can get us on Censored Freedom Network on X or YouTube, and we're also at the Jerry Hicks Show on all of these. Our big winner for today, ladies and gentlemen, is BitChute once again, tearing it up 3 days in a row, the most views of all the platforms. Our biggest loser today, we went ahead and put our stuff back up on TikTok. We reactivated that account over there to try to test it out, ladies and gentlemen. 20 hours it took them to put it up. So, biggest loser TikTok, biggest winner today, of course, is BitChute. If you want to rally your platform, whether it be Rumble or YouTube, to be number one, ladies and gentlemen, do just that. Rally it up. Have people come watch this show over on that particular platform. And while you're over there, folks, make sure that you subscribe on BitChute. We've got a huge amount of listeners, not a lot of subscribers, guys. Go ahead and subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that. Hit the like button. Can we get 20 likes? We didn't make it 20 likes yesterday. Can we get 20 likes in this show, guys? I'd really, really appreciate that. Matter of fact, over on X, let's raise it over here to 30. Can we get 30 likes on X? That'd be awesome, guys. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, we don't normally show commercials on here. We don't try to sell you stuff. We never have, never will. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a one-time sponsor tonight. And I think you guys might actually appreciate it. Check it out.
Have you been crying like a bitch over Elon Musk? Do you find yourself sobbing at the thought of your taxpayer-funded transgender basket weaving club losing its funding? You may be suffering from a common condition known as libtardism-induced meltdown. But don't worry, there's help. Introducing Grow-A-Pair, the revolutionary prescription solution designed to help you accept reality. With just 1 dose a day, you'll start to understand that tax dollars aren't meant for gender numeral electric vehicle startups in Vietnam. After taking Grow-A-Pair, you may notice life-changing improvements, such as smaller man boobs, the ability to fund your own transgender basket weaving without relying on Uncle Sam, and a newfound indifference to the defunding of the U.S. Department of Slope Sidewalk Studies. Grow-A-Pair won't solve all your problems, but it can help you stop fixating on who's going to pay for DEI pudding packs in Cambodia.
Side effects may include dry mouth, increased common sense, employment, smaller man boobs, and lower taxes.
Ask your doctor if Grow-A-Pair is right for you, because adulting is hard, but it doesn't have to be.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Huge shout out to Grow-A-Pair.
Have you been crying?
Huge shout out to Man of Memes over on X. I thought you guys might appreciate that little commercial spot. Once again, we rarely do them, but got to have some fun with it. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, our government has definitely grown a pair. Let's hop on over to the news rack. And over here on the news rack, folks, I hit the wrong button. Hey, how you guys doing? There I am. Over here on the news rack, ladies and gentlemen, RFK Jr. scheduled to be sworn in as Secretary of Health and Human Services as of 2 p.m. today. So congratulations to Robert F. Kennedy. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to America for having Robert F. Kennedy being sworn in today. Folks, things are about to change, and they're about to change big time. Can somebody get him the story from last night's show? Can we please get that over to RFK and have him do something about that? Because that story is something that, again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to almost the end of last night's show. Is probably the most important story we did all week long. I didn't realize it until we were actually doing the story. If we can get that over to RFK Jr., that would be great. But congratulations, RFK. Again, our daily Doge report over here at the Department of Government Efficiency. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to go over to X and go to the Department of Government Efficiency, and while you're over on X, make sure you check out Censored Freedom Network and the Jerry Hicks Show. You can go to Doge.gov, ladies and gentlemen. Doge.gov. Let me move this here so you guys can see it here. Doge.gov, folks, is where you can find this information if you don't want to go to X. It's the exact same stream. It's just on an actual website. But I like using X because, well, they're an awesome platform. We've got a lot of viewers over there. Shout out to you guys. The Department of Education terminated grants to 4 equity assistance centers totaling $33 million. One provided professional learning around critical race theory and racial literacy. Folks, I'm not going to play this video because I don't want to make my audience retarded. So we'll skip that. Of course, we know Lee Zeldin cutting left, right, and center. I think we covered this yesterday. Canceled $50 million. Oh, no, this is a new one. In Biden-era environmental justice grants to Climate Justice Alliance, which believes that climate justice travels through a free Palestine. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I know we say sentences on this show all the time that make your brain cells kind of fall apart, right? Because it's hard to make sense of stupid. It really is. A $50 million grant to the Climate Justice Alliance because climate justice travels through free Palestine. Can anybody say money laundering to the highest degree? And of course, that's yesterday's Department of Education. The one that had the line. Again, this is examples, folks. Here's another line. I can't believe I'm reading these on the air. I said it yesterday. $3 million contract to write a report that showed that prior reports were not utilized. Yes, that sounds like something out of a cartoon. Yes, that's really something our government did. They've been wasting our money as quickly as they can throw it out the door, and especially when it comes to activist journalists. We've heard, and if you haven't, please do your research, of Project Mockingbird. And Project Mockingbird was where the CIA was controlling the news media and what stories were and were not allowed to go through the news media. Of course, it's been conspiracy for years, although evidence is mounted to more or less prove without a shadow of a doubt that that's exactly what was going on. Thomson Reuters, yes, that Reuters, a far-left propaganda arm, receives funding from the U.S. Department of Defense for active social engineering defense, large-scale social deception. Thomas Reuters Corporation, the parent company that both owns Thomas Reuters and the far-left propaganda arm Reuters News, and I hope I'm saying that right, has been funded by none other than the U.S. DoD. So they apparently are supposedly two separate departments, Thomson Reuters and Reuters News, even though they are one of the same conglomerate. Social engineering attacks, this is what they're supposed to be fighting against, involve manipulating individuals into divulging confidential information or performing actions that compromise security. These attacks exploit human psychology and trust, often bypassing technical security measures. According to the leftists defending the contract, while TRSS is a subsidiary of Thomas Reuters, which also owns Reuters News, its operations are allegedly separate from the news, right? However, despite the statements, many online are not buying it, suspecting that this separation might just be a smokescreen for a deeper conspiracy where government is using taxpayer dollars to subtly manipulate news narratives in favor of far-left ideologies. And if you think this isn't a thing, have you not been paying attention? Look at BSDNC or MSNBC for those uneducated. Or look at ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. You name the propaganda machine, folks. They're all doing it. Even your local news is involved. Have you seen the, I should have pulled it up. If I knew I was going to go there, I would have. The mix of Mockingbird media talking about a threat to our democracy, all giving the exact same speech, word for word. I was ignorant. I thought that our local news media wasn't being controlled like the corporate news media at the, cable news level. Boy, was I wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, not only was it happening, it was being funded by our own Department of Defense, which is exactly what we were saying. Well, we said it was CIA. We did know the DOD was involved. Social engineering in a news corporation, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. They are social engineering the population to do what they want. They don't want you looking into things. They don't want you thinking about things. They don't want you questioning their narrative. All they want to do is control all the media, like Internews. Remember, we talked about Internews on the Censored Freedom show this past Sunday. This was another project connected, I'm no doubt sure, with this one, run through USAID that was basically training journalists to be propagandists across the globe. And eventually, I'm sure this is the way they had it planned to play out. If you're not part of their club of journalists, even though our Constitution says that if you're an American, you're a journalist, full stop, then according to them, you wouldn't be recognized as a journalist or a press person, right? Like, where's your press pass? Where's your credentials? Ladies and gentlemen, next time somebody asks you for your credentials as a journalist, hand them a copy of the Constitution and tell them there's my credentials right there. Because it is. Don't ever let any of these wannabe propagandists tell you you're not a journalist, because you are. We all are. But if they would have got their way with Internews and this right here, there would have been no independent media. If they would have got their way with the misinformation boards and shut all of us down online for, quote, misinformation because it doesn't follow their narrative, that's what they were working on in this country, folks. They were working on killing the First Amendment, with the Second Amendment not far behind. President Trump, 2 minutes and 18 seconds of Trump revealing how bad this is. I want you to listen to the level, the huge level at which these numbers are, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s. We're talking in the number of millions and billions, billions and billions and billions of dollars wasted. Your tax money. Remember, Obama told you, sorry folks, there's nothing we can do. You're just going to have to live with being poorer. You're just going to have to learn to live a worse lifestyle. Sorry. And yet they were using all of this money to do anything but help the American people on purpose. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen.
That some numbers have come out, and as you know, we're looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. And this just came out from the Government Accountability Office, and they're pretty staggering numbers. The federal government loses as much as $521 billion in fraud a year. That's what Elon's working so hard on with his group of almost 100 geniuses.
And the left is pissed at Elon. We'll get to that story here in a second.
In 2023, there was an estimated $236 billion in improper payments made.
$236 billion in improper payments.
And they think that number is very low. Should be.
And that's a lowball estimate.
Much higher. $236 billion. This is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why I campaigned so hard and discussed this so much. And
I'm going to point that out again. He campaigned on this every single day. This is what we the people voted for. We asked for this. We want this. We the people are happy about this. The only ones that are unhappy, the only ones that are screaming about this, I want you guys to think about it, is the mainstream media and the corrupt, dirty Democrats that are losing their payoffs, or the judges that are corrupt and working for Soros or USAID and losing their payoffs. They're the only ones that are upset about what Trump's doing. Think about it. Judges are trying to overrule the majority of the American people. Judges believe that they have more right to say what will happen in this country than the American people do. The American people ask for what Trump is doing. And how do we know by confirmation that that's true? Because his numbers of approval have only went up.
Since 2003, there have been $2.7 trillion in improper payments, meaning payments that went to the wrong people or payments that shouldn't have been made. According to the economic policy,
2.7 trillion, I think he said. That's even bigger.
Center, very respected. In 2024, there was an estimated $162 billion in improper payments. Earned income tax credit, this is having to do with earned income tax credit. It was $15.9 billion.
15.9 billion misused on earned income tax credit. People that did not earn it or deserve it still got it.
Having to do with food stamps, improper. $10.5 billion.
10.5 billion improper payments on food stamps.
In improper payments. Restaurant Revitalization Fund, $8.7 billion. Supplemental security income, $6.5 billion. This is all bad stuff, bad payments. Fraud, largely fraud. Unemployment insurance, $5.6 billion.
Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Are you mad that our government has been defrauding us, or are you mad at Trump and Elon for showing you your government is defrauding you? Who are you mad at? Because that will determine what side of the fence you stand on at this point. You're either for the patriots or for the corrupt elite.
According to House Ways and Means in 2024, Social Security, Disability Insurance, and Survivors Insurance Programs sent an estimated $8.3 billion in improper payments, including $6.5 billion in overpayments where they overpaid. So these are staggering numbers, and this has been going on for a long time, and we're finding a lot of it.
A whole lot of it, and it's only going to continue just a little bit more from President Trump. This is so funny. These leftist reporters really think they got these gotcha questions on President Trump, and he shuts her down. Check it out. He's in the middle of signing an executive order. Everyone else is quiet. Check this out.
Well, that's a good one.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up...
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please.
Okay. She really thought she was going to get a good gotcha on him. Nope, not going to happen. You know, before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought of a point that I'd like to make. A lot of people keep complaining that a billionaire, these two billionaires are going through our money. They're going to steal our taxes. They're going to steal. Ladies and gentlemen, what do billionaires need with your money? I get it. They're always trying to get your money, but they don't just come in and steal your money. They usually do it by much more covert means. I trust the billionaires to count my money a lot more than I trust the guy that ain't got a penny to his name to count my money. Because the guy that ain't got a penny to his name is probably going to take more than the billionaires are. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know a lot of people say you don't trust billionaires. I get it. I trust Trump and I trust Elon. I don't think those two are going to steal our tax money, ladies and gentlemen. They don't need our tax money. They've lost money doing what they're doing. They aren't trying to take ours. I promise. They've got many, many, many more billions of dollars coming in. You're talking about two of the richest men in the world. Yeah, I don't mind them auditing our finances. Not at all. Clearly, they did something right. Clearly, they understood finances. Right? Right or wrong? So, ladies and gentlemen, next time you hear some idiot talking about, well, the billionaires are going to take our tax money, think of how stupid this statement even is. Yeah, I want billionaires auditing my system. Yeah, I want people that knew better how to use money than me or some jack off the street. Absolutely. You bet I do. And somebody a little more honest, somebody that, I don't know, most all of the country voted for. Yeah, I want that. And the deep state is not taking it well. President Trump cuts funding to the National Endowment for Democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see these two words, for democracy, it was a deep state system. We do not live in a democracy. We live in a republic. The Republic of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands. To the republic, not to the democracy for which it stands. All of these politicians get up here and scream about democracy, democracy. We don't live in a democracy. It's not 51-49 rule. That's not the way this works. We live in a republic with representatives across both sides that are supposed to do the bidding of the people. I use those words very lightly. Bill O'Reilly, I'm going to be honest with you, one of my heroes for a long, long time. I didn't like the guy in the beginning, but he has really become one of my heroes. He come out talking to Cuomo, who's the opposite of any hero. He's actually the bottom of my list. I don't trust Cuomo as far as I can see him, and I'm pretty blind.
Trump wants to get Letitia James and Alvin Bragg. That's what this story is all about. Nothing else there. He went after Illinois because he wants to get Pritzker. Hates him. And the way to do that is to deny the states of Illinois and New York the federal grant money. The New York Post reports today $8 billion is going to get held up by the Justice Department that would have flowed into New York State, which
it sounds like Letitia may have made a little mistake.
Is running an astronomical deficit here, okay? So the easiest way to do this is to file civil suits against the governor and the attorney general. Then the question was, why?
Hey, look, can you see the three stupid people in the picture? They're really easy to spot. They've got masks on.
Is the mayor of New York left out? Because he doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. Trump wants to get Letitia James. Hochul is just an ornament. Doesn't have any bad feeling toward Hochul, Trump. But Adams, the deal that was made, I don't know what Adams is giving Trump. I have to tell the audience up front. I don't know, and I don't use anonymous sources, but I have gotten call after call after call that said, and all of these people have agendas who are calling me. They all have agendas, all right? And they're saying that Adams knows where the bodies are buried with James and Bragg.
Now, whether that's literal or not is yet to be determined, right?
Throwing it out for your consumption. I'm not reporting it to be true, but it kind of makes sense, right?
Well, it's kind of weird that, like, you can say he has no power, but he's in charge of the city. And when they went after Pritzker in Illinois, they named Chicago and they went after mayor. I'm just saying, if you're going after the city of Chicago, you name the mayor.
No, Johnson and Adams have no power whatsoever. None. They do what they're told to do. The real power lies in the state legislature. Now, in both Illinois and New York, the state legislature gives the big middle finger to Homeland Security. Because blank you, maybe Anderson Cooper could articulate it a little more than I am by using some vernacular, but that's what's happening. And the Trump administration knows that these mayors, I mean, this is like the utility infielder on the New York Yankees who plays maybe 3 innings a week. These guys have no power. They do what they're told to do. The big power is Newsom in California. Newsom's next. Hey, Gavin, they're coming for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Well, you heard it there first, actually, on News Nation. Newsom's next. Now, okay, here we go. This is the next story. I thought so. Apparently, Adams turned something over, and he knows something because the DOJ has officially dropped all charges against Eric Adams.
If I could ask you about a development in your hometown today, the U.S. Attorney has resigned over the DOJ's request to drop the case into Eric Adams. Did you personally request the Justice Department to drop that case?
No, I didn't. I know nothing about it. I did not.
So apparently Trump knew nothing of anything. At least that's what he says. And we trust Trump. But it looks like they have absolutely dismissed the cases against Eric Adams. 6 leftist federal prosecutors resigned in the wake of this activity. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like the guy, but I do feel that he was set up. Why do I think the Democrats set up Eric Adams? Because he blew the whistle on the illegal aliens. He did not toe the party line. You guys remember he was out there begging, saying, look, we can't handle this. Our city's falling apart. We can't do it. He was basically saying what the Republicans were saying. And the Democrats, being the dirty communists that they are, threw him under the bus and tried to charge his life out of existence with lawfare. Now, whether he's guilty or not, that's a whole nother, to be determined, I guess. That's up to the Justice Department to determine, not me. I personally think he's guiltier and dirtier than sin, but then again, if he's dirty enough to have the information on the rest of the dirty guys, well, we've all seen TV shows. We know how it goes. We know how that stuff works, right? So he probably, in my opinion, cut a deal for immunity for a lot of information that's going to take down those that swore they were going to take down President Trump. The difference is these people did something actually wrong. Representative Robert Garcia is losing his mind.
I want to hear...
So first he holds up a picture of Elon Musk and calls it a dick pic, thinking that's going to be a cute thing to do.
Why? But do you think that calling Elon Musk a dick is effective messaging for confronting what is a potentially irreversible transformation of the U.S. government?
Well, he is a dick. And I think he's also harming the American public in an enormous way. And what I think is really important...
He's harming the American public by doing what the American public asked to be done. Make that make sense.
And what the American public want is for...
Oh, he's going to tell us what the American public want. Tell us, buddy. Please tell us what we want.
Us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
I'm sorry. The American people want what?
An actual fight for democracy. This is an actual fight. Us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an
bring actual weapons to this bar fight. Do you hear what he's saying? The American people want him and his cronies to bring weapons to a bar fight against Elon Musk. Yeah, that sounded like a threat to me too.
We'll fight for democracy, for the future of this country.
We will fight for democracy. What I tell you about those 2 words, ladies and gentlemen, for democracy. He just nailed himself as a member of the deep state.
And it's important to push back on the chairperson of this committee. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene talks about having decorum, about bipartisanship. This is the person that lies more than anybody else.
And clearly he's a misinformation agent on top of it.
In the entire Congress. And so if she is going to make a mockery of hearings, I want to make sure that us as Democrats are bringing that same level of energy.
Don't worry, just by being a Democrat, you're bringing a level of mockery to the meeting. Make no mistake, buddy.
And of course, after those comments, we went into exactly what Elon Musk is trying to do. Dismantling the Department of Labor, dismantling the Department of Education, dismantling all of our consumer protection.
You know, what the American people asked him to do?
Agencies. And so it's all important, but it's also important to get the attention of the American public and call Elon Musk out for what he is, and to make people know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a serious legislator and she shouldn't be treated as such.
Oh, she's not a serious legislator. Really? Coming from a misinformation Democrat that thinks we're in a democracy and is mad that Elon Musk is exposing fraud. So add the name to the list, ladies and gentlemen. This is Representative Robert Garcia. Add it to your list of bingo card, I guess. Or add it to your bingo card and add it to your list of Democrats who are absolutely getting paid off for this. Rep. Nancy Mace, upon hearing these sick words, said, and I quote, "The left is officially out of control." Yes, they are. Last night, Democrat Representative Robert Garcia called for actual weapons to be used against Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, they're calling for the same thing that happened to Trump. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. They're dog whistling to any supporters that they may have left, those whole 5 of them out there. She went on to say, how many more times will Democrats incite violence against the president or any Republicans on national television? She said, we have no choice but to rein them in. We're introducing a motion to censor Robert Garcia. And he needs to be censored, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to be kicked from Congress. This is more than just saying we'll take the fight to the street. This is more than just saying we'll fight for what's right. This is saying we will physically harm you, is what he is saying. He is threatening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that was communicating a threat, a federal crime. This man needs to be investigated. This man needs to be locked up for what he just did. Because make no mistake, folks, if I called for something like that on this show, I wouldn't have time to get my pants on in the morning before the FBI is knocking on my door. And this guy said this on CNN. He needs to be investigated. Can somebody please get a hold of Miss Bondi? This is one of the funniest stories. I've been waiting on this story. I knew I had it somewhere in the reel or in the rack. Folks, 14 Democrat state attorney generals sued Trump, Doge, and claim Musk is operating with unchecked power. If you followed this show, you'll know that he's not operating with any power than that which is already provided by the federal government to begin with. The attorney generals argued that since Elon is not Senate confirmed, he should be barred from issuing orders to anyone inside of the executive branch. We are asking the court to invalidate his directives and actions and create a restraining order. The White House has responded to this. Ms. Carolyn Leavitt, as gorgeous as she is, said, the lawsuit is a continuation of the weaponization of justice against President Trump. The White House will continue to fight these battles in court, and we expect to be vindicated. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take that back before I get into that. The suit filed by Democrat attorney generals from Arizona, Michigan, and Rhode Island takes aim at the magnitude and scale of Musk's power, noting that Doge has led to Trump administration's efforts to drastically reduce the size of the federal workforce, dismantle agencies, and access sensitive data. It goes on to quote, the founders of this country would be outraged that 250 years after our nation overthrew a king, the people of this country, many of whom have fought and died to protect our freedoms, are now subject to the whims of a single unelected billionaire. Yeah, they really make this sound like Musk is the one that's in control. It's so friggin' stupid. The attorney generals argue that Trump violated. Now check this out. Here's the stupid part of this. Here's where it just totally falls apart with logic. This is what I was about to get to. The attorney general argue that Trump violated the appointments clause of the Constitution by creating Doge, an unofficial government agency. Ladies and gentlemen, without congressional approval and by granting Musk sweeping powers without seeking the advice and consent of the Senate through a confirmation hearing. Folks, again, if you've been following this show, you know he did not create Doge. He did not do anything but fill a slot that was already there in a department that already existed. He did not have to go through Congress to create a new department. He renamed one that was already there. He did not have to go through the Senate to get confirmation because this was just another special appointee, just like happens all the time across Congress. Do they get to ask for every employee of the ATF and FTC and FCC and FDA and FDIC and the whole line of them? Do every single one of those persons get a Senate confirmation? No, they do not. They're bureaucrats. They are hired by the government and never a word is said about them. You don't know their names. You know Elon Musk's name because Musk is doing something big that they don't like. Well, you know Elon Musk's name for a number of reasons, of course, but folks, he did not, and here's, again, this lawsuit just falls apart. He did not create a cabinet or agency without congressional approval. It was already there. He did not grant Musk sweeping powers. Musk took the powers of the office that was already in place. The fact that that Trump and Musk are working together drives the left insane. But this restraining order, if is allowed, will completely be a way to get these judges disbarred. Any judge that bites on this and allows this should be automatically disbarred without question. Am I wrong? Because the lawsuit alleges something that is absolutely false. It is a false claim. If anything, the person or the people filing this lawsuit need to be censored or fined or whatever it is, the legality that they do. They need to be fined for bringing lawsuits that are bogus. I think that's a crime, isn't it? Speaking of crime, the criminal herself, Mad Maxine Waters, is out of her mind. She's scared, folks. She is legit scared. And I mean scared. She's got Jerome Powell here, who absolutely hates Trump. This guy's got Trump derangement syndrome like no other. And she's trying to make a point here. And I think she made a different point than she actually meant to. See if you can catch the slip.
When Musk comes knocking at the Fed's door, are you going to let him in?
I don't have anything for you on that.
I like the way he answered that. It's almost like he knows better.
Would you like to tell us today that you won't let Doge into the Federal Reserve?
I'd like to see you stop him.
Or have access to the systems and the data?
I'd like to see you stop him.
So I don't have any, we've had no contact, and I don't really have, I have nothing for you to report.
Here's what apparently she don't realize, or he's not admitting. There's a Doge office already there. Every single agency has a Doge office, folks. It was already there to begin with.
Today on that.
Well, you know what happened at Treasury, and you know what happened over at the CFPB, and the people of this country are being violated because all of our privacy is being taken up.
Oh, really? The people of this country that asked for this to happen are being violated? No, we're not.
About Elon Musk and Trump, and we don't know what all they have on us, our bank accounts, everything that in our lives. So I want to protect it in the Fed. Mr. Powell, what all they have on us, our bank account.
What all they have on, we don't know what all they have on us. Ladies and gentlemen, what is she scared of? What could they have on her that could be that detrimental? That she's trying to make sure Jerome Powell don't let Doge into there. What are they going to find on Miss Maxine Waters? I'd be willing to bet she's been one of the dirtiest, most underhanded ones that are getting the most kickbacks. I'd put money on that. I don't know that for a fact. I want to be very clear. That's my opinion. But I'd be willing to put money on it. I bet her and Pelosi have been working together for a long time to screw the American people. Again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, these are the same people that told you that there was no way that things could get better, that there's no money, there's just no money left. We've spent everything. We're in such hard times right now. There's just no money. We're sorry. There's nothing we can do. You're just going to have to learn to live with a lesser lifestyle. These are the same people. Same people that tried to convince you for years that they're doing everything they can, that they're just really sorry. Same people that have been passing budgets and bills that go against everything the American people stand for. I said it the other day, and I'll say it again probably 100 times before the next election. Remember what these people have done to you. The more we find, the more waste, the more fraud that we find, remember what they've done to you. Now, I keep telling you guys to make a list of the Democrats that are screaming and making noise about this. I want you to also make a second list, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to take note of all the Republicans that are not screaming about this, because that's a lot. And if it's a Republican that's not saying a word about it, why? Why are they being so quiet? Why are they not enraged like the rest of us? Are they getting kickbacks? Are they just as dirty as these Democrats? I know for a fact Mitch McConnell is more dirty than all of them. Because he only votes Democrat. He's married to a Chinese lady, most likely a spy, or connected to a spy ring. That's my opinion. Very clear. And yet he's voted against every confirmation that Trump has put up and has put out vile statements against it. He's one of them that is clearly getting money from all this fraud, waste, and abuse. He's clearly getting kickbacks of some corrupt type. Probably from China. That's my guess. Or maybe he's helped covering all the garbage over here at the FBI. Democrats have casted the Trump administration's ouster of 8 senior FBI leaders as a purge or a retribution for weaponized justice. Some even comparing it to Richard Nixon's Saturday Night Massacre. But former colleagues of the terminated G-men say that this narrative is backwards. That's right, FBI whistleblowers, officials, past and present, have marshaled significant evidence indicating that several terminated leaders routinely used their office for partisan purposes. Now, we knew the FBI was dirty. Now we've got black and white receipts. These include allegations that at least we've got allegations, let me be clear. At least 2 of the fired officials, Jeffrey Viltry and Dina Perkins, manipulated the security clearance review process to personally and professionally punish conservatives, C-19 skeptics, and J6 whistleblowers who reported suspected bureau malfeasance and retaliated against those who came to the whistleblowers' defense. In other words, we will shut you down, we will ruin and destroy your life. A third person, Timothy Dunham, is also alleged to have improperly suspended security clearances. Many of them. Senator Grassley is expected to read numerous accounts of alleged misconduct perpetrated by these and other officials in a record Thursday morning. So apparently this happened this morning. I didn't know about that one. But ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going on. These agencies are corrupted to the core. The core. They need to be overhauled. Some of them need to be shut down altogether. All of the stuff that have been hidden. Ladies and gentlemen, the FBI was coming after you to punish you if you were skeptical of C-19. I know I'm on that list. I don't know how I'm not going to be on that list. Their goal was to punish conservatives. We knew that. Hell, they come talking to me, accusing me of using my First Amendment right. As if I did something wrong. Folks, we are winning left, right, and center. It's bumpy, it's rough, it's ugly. But only if you're the one that's getting the kickbacks. The American people voted for what we're seeing. These Democrats keep trying to come on here and tell us what the American people want. The American people chose what the American people wanted. We chose Donald Trump. We back Elon Musk. None of us are complaining about Elon Musk on this side. Does that tell you anything? Yet these Democrats are trying to tell you what Americans want. Let me break that down. What the deep state wants is, if you hear a Democrat get on TV and say for democracy, they're deep staters. So if they're saying what Americans want, what we want, the we they're referring to is the deep state, not you. These people do not work for you. If I have to say it every night, I will. These politicians, especially on the left, do not work for you. Do not forget what the Democrat Party has done to you personally in your life. They're the reason that your grocery bill is higher than it needs to be. They're the reason that you can't take your kids to the park because you can't afford the gas, because you've got to have either that or dinner. They're the reason you can't afford daycare. They're the reason you can't afford to live in this country. That everything you do is taxed all the way to hell and back. Right? And they have enough gall to stand there and tell you, even though they've stolen your money at every corner, every chance they've got enough gall to stand there and tell you that, sorry, there's nothing we can do. You're going to have to learn to live a worse lifestyle. Never forget that was the Democrats, ladies and gentlemen. Never, ever vote for these people again. Because the next time they get back in, they're going to double down on hurting you and hurting this country. The Democrat Party is the Communist Party. It needs to be disbanded. No, I'm not calling for one party rule. I think we should have 19 different parties to choose from. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme. Maybe 5. But am I wrong? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below in the description and comments. I really, really appreciate it, guys. That music means that it is the end of the show. My name's Jerry Hicks. This is The Jerry Hicks Show. Again, you can catch us on BitChute, Rumble, X, YouTube, all of the platforms. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow night, stay awake, but dare to dream. We are a part of the Censored Freedom Network. This is The Jerry Hicks Show. I am Jerry Hicks. Good night, everybody.